Hello out there, world. It's your boy Tommy on the spot. Thanks so much for joining us here on Watchalong Wrestling. Today we are going to be watching, and hopefully you guys are watching along, NXT Takeover Blackpool. It is just about to kick off here. So thank you guys so much for checking us out here today. And they're getting started here with a video package promoting Seth Rollins and Bobby Lashley. I guess that's kind of getting us going. But thank you guys so much for checking us out and for joining us today on the live stream. If you do like what you see, make sure you leave a like and subscribe, and we will be with you for the entire show here today. NXT UK Takeover Blackpool. The live chat is open if you guys want to go ahead and jump in there. Just letting you guys know the full card of the show today. It'll be the NXT UK champion Pete Dunne, who during the pre-show they announced he had been the champion now for 601 calendar days, which is absolutely crazy. Almost 2 years that he's had that title, winning the title way back in 2017 over Tyler Bate. He'll be defending that championship today against Joe Coffey. Then for the NXT Women's Championship, it'll be Rhea Ripley defending the title against Toni Storm. I'm going to bow out and let you guys listen to the pre-show kind of the package there. And we'll go ahead and do that and take a listen to the hype package for NXT Takeover UK, NXT UK Takeover Blackpool.
NXT Takeover Chicago, Pete Dunne challenges Tyler Bate for the WWE United Kingdom Championship. Every single person on their feet.
That's when he won the title, right? That was Chicago? Or was it Chicago? So showing when NXT UK came to 205 Live, when British Strong Style won the tag titles, NXT War Games.
And that brings us to today. We are going to give you more.
That was really cool that everyone was so stoked when he announced it. In the past, Drake wasn't always with Gibson in NXT UK, I don't think. We're letting you guys listen in on the video package here to get us started on NXT UK Takeover Blackpool.
History. We take over.
Yeah, that's awesome. Alrighty, so that was the video package there, and it is officially showtime here for NXT UK Takeover Blackpool. Just to run down the card here for you guys, Joe Coffey will be going for the World Championship in the main event tonight against Pete Dunne. For the UK Women's Championship, it'll be Rhea Ripley defending that title against the winner of the second Mae Young Classic, Toni Storm. In the finals of the tournament to determine the first ever NXT UK Tag Team Championship, it'll be Trent Seven and Tyler Bate, British Strong Style, taking on the team of James Drake and Zack Gibson, better known to UK wrestling fans as the Grizzled Young Vets. Then in a no DQ match, it'll be Eddie Dennis taking on the undefeated in NXT UK Dave Mastiff. And I believe kicking us off will be Travis Banks taking on the protege of Finn Balor, Jordan Devlin. That'll be a great match. Anytime I'm a huge fan of Travis Banks. I've seen him many times over in Progress, especially every time Progress comes to the United States. So I'm excited for the show, guys. This should be a lot of fun. UK crowd is amped up. Fans in Blackpool are just so excited, and some of the most passionate fans in the entire world. If you guys haven't been watching the shows, basically anytime anything comes aboard, anything is announced, they're really passionate about the brand. They get really excited. So we'll be able to watch it off. And it looks like, actually, did they say it's going to be British Strong Style first? Yep, tag title match. Kicking us off here. Got my boy Deej here over here watching the show along with me here live in the Watchalong Wrestling studios, if you will. On the Watchalong Wrestling couch, if you will. I have Tommy on the spot, and thank you guys for checking out our live stream, full show, live reaction of NXT UK Takeover Blackpool live. The chat room is officially open. If you guys have any questions about anything, I want to give your thoughts on the show as it happens. Here comes Mustache Mountain. Half the fans seem to have either mustaches or little like Cesaro section signs that have a mustache on it. Very cool. Is this the first time that they've had matching tights?
Well, first time with tights in general.
Oh, first time they've had tights in general. There you go. They have matching tights. They have matching flags.
I think it's
coming out with the towels.
It might be the color pattern of soccer team in the UK.
Yes, yes. If anyone's watching along, want to let me know what that flag is, please do. That looks like it would be the flag of a, I'm guessing Blackpool probably, but maybe a Blackpool flag of a Blackpool team of some sort. So let me know if you guys are watching along there. I would love to know what you guys, if anyone has the info on that. These guys are treated like absolute rock stars when they come out. People are so excited for Trent Seven and Tyler Bate when they come in there. Look at the anticipation for them to do the roll into the ring. Wow. Quite the pop, quite the entrance here for Trent Seven and Tyler Bate. I thought there was a chance this would start us off, but the thing that you always, you run the risk of, it seems like most NXT TakeOver shows do start with tag title matches, and I think the problem with that is the tag matches are all really good, and so sometimes whatever comes after it, or even the next couple of matches, it takes a little while for the crowd to get into it. I don't expect that to happen here. I don't expect any hangover effect because I think that the UK crowd is super passionate about everybody who wrestles for NXT UK. I don't anticipate them not being interested in Travis Banks, certainly. Maybe that no DQ match. That might be one that if that happens after this, they could be a little I guess burnt out after this one, because this will be a good match. There's Zack Gibson, who is somebody that the WWE UK seems unbelievably high on. He won the second NXT UK tournament, so you would get a title match against Pete Dunne earlier this year, and came close to beating Pete Dunne. I thought he was going to beat Pete Dunne, but didn't. And now they've introduced James Drake into the picture and have reformed the Grizzled Young Vets, though they have not referred to themselves as the Grizzled Young Veterans on NXT UK television. These guys are really talented, though. They're unbelievable heels. I think that there's few people I've seen garner the reaction that certainly that Zack Gibson gets each time that he's on the Progress shows, even just the shows I've been to here in the United States, or some of the shows that I've kind of seen live. There's Johnny Saint, general manager of NXT UK, and that's the head official for NXT straight up, right?
General manager.
Yeah. I do appreciate that everybody's shaking Johnny Saint's hand. And there's Sid Scala, who is the assistant to the general manager. I'm waiting for him at some point to turn on Johnny Saint. He has a certain crowd is screaming "Big Strong Boy," and that looks like an awesome atmosphere to be in the Empress. I think it's the Empress Theater in Blackpool, and that everyone seems really excited about that. So for those of you guys who do not know, they announced it was going to be tag champions for NXT UK. There was a tournament that was held. Tyler Bate and Trent Seven defeated the team of Gallus Zack Gibson and James Drake defeated the team of Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews. In order to get where we are here, the opening contest of NXT UK Takeover Blackpool. Tyler Bate and Zack Gibson getting us started here. They love their chants for Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate might be the #1 fan favorite of the entire UK roster. Look at you see the crowd. The crowd is literally jumping for joy doing the Tyler Bate chant there and getting into it. So that's got to be how do you even possibly concentrate just seeing the whole crowd there so into it. Armbar there to get us started by Zack Gibson, but even though he takes down Tyler Bate kips up, and now again, Zack Gibson working over the wrist, peeling back on the hand there and the fingers of Tyler Bate while he works over his neck with his knee, twists his arm over. Tyler Bate again trying to kip up out of that and find a way out. Does it? I think he's got the best kip up in the business. If you guys think I'm wrong, let me know, but I think he does a really good job when he's able to get all the way back on his neck and then flip up into a standing position, which is pretty crazy stuff and a lot of fun there. You guys have just found us and just joining us now. You are watching the Watchalong Wrestling live stream of NXT UK. Did they? Oh, yes, everyone has their shoes off in the air. Everybody's got a shoe off, and they're doing their thing, and very much into it. What are they chanting? Take your shoes off? Nigel accusing the crowd of being very unprofessional. Kick out there by Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate trying to kip up into a bridge in order to get out of the hold, but Zack Gibson remains in the hold as Tyler Bate powers out. Crowd is chanting for Bate, doing the big strong boy chant. Tyler getting up into a standing position, but again is brought back down. Bate again trying to work out of the hold into a bridge. That big strong boy thing is a shoot. Look at this guy. Rolling over into a counter of his own right into a submission, standing submission by Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate Irish whipped out of it, but landed up on his feet. And now they're both standing and facing off.
A small stalemate here, Nigel. The opening match of the first ever NXT UK Takeover.
Gibson and Tyler Bate again now locking up. Collar and elbow tie up. James Drake blind tags in. Tyler Bate though getting going on to the outside and running back into the ring, into his own corner. Trent 7 now on the outside.
Tyler Bate now will face off with James Drake.
Looks like Trent 7 has actually gotten into better shape there. And 7 coming into the ring to a major pop as him and James Drake now will lock up for the first time. They're giving him the, I think it was at the Enzo Amore treatment, I guess, right? The old Enzo chant, if you will. Crowd is literally, I haven't seen this. The crowd is legitimately jumping up and down and dancing along with their chants as they get going here for British Strong Style. I've never seen an act more over in their hometown than Trent 7 and Tyler Bate, and certainly Pete Dunne are British Strong Style just adored by the UK fan base. Big chop by Trent 7, takes down Drake, goes for a cover, not even a one. Speaking of Drake, Tyler Bate now getting up to the second rope, over Trent 7 into a senton. Now a big uppercut to James Drake, takes him off the ropes. Irish whip into the other side, but Zack Gibson pulls Drake down. Fans giving Gibson a bit of their mind as Gibson tries to calm James Drake down. Definitely a huge Progress Wrestling influence on this show. If you guys are fans of Progress Wrestling, I think NXT UK has done a really good job in kind of being able to utilize a good amount of the Progress roster and filling up their roster with many guys that are over there. And a lot of those guys really talented. Another kip up by Tyler Bate. How he's able to just do that with such ease, right? Basically off the top of his head is unreal. James Drake with a headlock now, off the ropes. Blind tag to Zack Gibson. Leapfrog by Tyler Bate, but Gibson leapfrogs James Drake as well. And taken down with a Hurricane Rana. Snap Hurricane Rana by Tyler Bate. Now Bate works over the arm of Zack Gibson.
Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne had a match at a Progress show recently, I think.
Really?
Pete Dunne was on top of Tyler Bate on the ground, and Tyler Bate did a kick up while Pete Dunne was still on.
Really?
But
that's good.
Somewhere it's super easy to find, but everyone's saying that's about it.
What David just told me was that Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne had a match recently at Progress, and during that match, Tyler Bate actually kipped up with Pete Dunne on him. You can check that. Take a look at that clip. I'm sure it's somewhere online. Trent Seven now working on the arm of Zack Gibson. Crowd getting into it, clapping along as Gibson gets back up, whips Trent Seven into the corner. Seven has him up, but Gibson gets down and tags in James Drake for another blind tag. Trent Seven now chopping both men, and now big Irish whip to James Drake. Now big another blind tag into Gibson. Trent Seven though knocks Gibson to the outside, and now he's running around and goes to the outside with a big shoulder block tackle down to James Drake, and seems to be James Drake begging off now of Trent Seven as Seven stalks him there on the outside, and Tyler Bate looks like he's ready to go and join in on the action himself. Trent Seven now running around going after, and he laid out by Gibson as he was chasing James Drake. Trent Seven is down. So at this point, I always expected to say, both men are down. We'll be right back. But they, fortunately, obviously not going to do that during a takeover special. Right to the head there by Zack Gibson, and now he tags in James Drake. Drake now with a stomp onto the shoulder of Trent Seven. Another stomp to the midsection. Laid out again there, showing a replay of Gibson laying out Trent Seven. Now Seven trying to get to the corner of Tyler Bate, try to tag him in. There's a story that Trent Seven trained Tyler Bate, right?
I'm not sure exactly.
I think he's somewhat sort of their protege.
I guess
he mentors them, yeah.
I know he is the oldest out of the British roster.
Well, I think he's like 37, 38. And I know Tyler Bate is like 23 and maybe not even 23 at this point. He was only 20 when the tournament happened, so I guess he's probably 22 now. And then I think Pete Dunne is maybe 25, 26. So still all of them, both of those guys definitely are going to be around for many, many years if all things continue where they're at. For those of you guys that are just tuning in, thanks so much for checking us out here on Watchalong Wrestling. If you like what you see, please do leave a like and subscribe. It really helps a lot, and definitely appreciate all of the support. Specifically, really over the last week or so, you guys have been awesome and have helped me to actually get a legitimate URL. We are now youtube.com/WatchalongWrestling, which is certainly much better than youtube.com/bumble-jumble letters and numbers. So, Drake goes to the outside. Double team effort by Gibson and Drake, laying out Trent Seven on the outside. And now Tyler Bate coming around to get a little closer to the action and to encourage Trent Seven to get up. I think our official prediction for this match was actually that Gibson and Drake would get the tag titles. We mentioned earlier how WWE is clearly really into Zack Gibson. They've been really behind him since the beginning here. He got the win in the second ever UK tournament they did, and almost came within a near fall or two away from beating Pete Dunne for that title. And it just seems like British Strong Style has been feuding with Gallus. So if they weren't going to have that be the match. It just makes sense, in my opinion, to have the Grizzled Young Vets win those titles. Now James Drake getting over, working over Trent Seven, trying to get him back up. Gibbs Seven though with a couple of forearms to the midsection of Drake is in his own right. Now Trent Seven getting into the wrong corner, back into the corner there. Elbow to Gibson, and now another forearm smash there by Drake. But Trent Seven returns with one of his own, and now Trent Seven is coming out of the corner. Oh, looks like someone is. Yeah, you're right. Someone is bleeding. Yeah, ref, you're right. The ref has gloves on, which is crazy when you consider that. Oh, yeah. Trent Seven busted wide open through the back of his head there. Always funny to see Drake with gloves on when the guy used to compete for CZW and be Mr. Deathmatch in his own right. Oh, yikes. Forearm knocked it legit. Busted open, Trent Seven in the back of the head. Bleeding blood all throughout his hair. Now Gibson getting over for a snap Northern Light vertical suplex into a cover, but only a 2 count. That almost has him down for like a seated $1 million dream there, does Zack Gibson. And now Trent Seven. Ref asking Trent Seven if he submits. I would be very surprised if he did. But I guess you never know. Kind of a bummer if he did.
Just a name, it's a brand, and it's an attitude. They consider themselves to be an integral part of the renaissance of British professional wrestling. A British millennial version, if you will, of the ultra-physical style that was popularized by Japanese superstars like
you hear the voice of Nigel McGuinness over there. And Nigel, actually, they're doing a documentary about Nigel called Chasing the Magic. Immediately following this on the WWE Network. So if you guys are in the mood for a little more wrestling when the show goes off the air, you can check out Nigel McGuinness' documentary. It's definitely something I'll be watching, and we'll be back to talk about it maybe tomorrow. Maybe we'll jump on here for a few tomorrow. There will also be another edition of the Watchalong Wrestling podcast this weekend. We're going to go back and revisit an old Royal Rumble as we continue our look back through the Royal Rumbles of yesteryear, so to speak. And we are going to be taking a look at the Royal Rumble 2000, a huge show featuring Cactus Jack and Triple H for the world title. The Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys in a tables match, and the Royal Rumble match that featured the Rock winning that match and going on to WrestleMania. Exchanging chops and forearms to the outside. Drake's counting. I'm very surprised, though, because they have to have a winner for the tag titles. I don't think it's just going to go to a no contest. Trent Seven climbing back into the ring. Drake trying to get a hold of Seven. Grizzled Young Vets have really been working and really cornering Seven into the corner most of the match. They've had the upper hand. Trent Seven, eventually, you'd figure we'll get that hot tag, and in the process, we'll be able to do that. And big kick to the face as the crowd is doing the Enzo Amore chant, and Tyler Bate into a huge pop. Huge hot tag. Now huge rights and lefts to the head of Zack Gibson. Drake gets in there. But Tyler Bate quickly back body drop to James Drake. Now firing up into the corner. Big knee to the face. Bate off the second rope with a big forearm. Diving forearm. Crowd really growing with anticipation as they have a beautiful shot of the Empress Ballroom there in Blackpool. Airplane spin to James Drake from Tyler Bate. And now with James Drake's legs, he hits Zack Gibson with him. Puts Drake down. Goes for a vertical suplex. Oh, now he has Drake's legs on Zack Gibson and has... Oh! Now he's picking up Zack Gibson for an airplane spin while he has James Drake on him, and he has a double airplane spin of the Grizzled Young Vets, continuing it with Gibson as the crowd is giving him the big strong boy. And again, that big strong boy thing, man, that's a shoot. Tyler Bate going after Gibson, but James Drake gets over there, and now looks like he's getting him set for a vertical suplex delayed, and brings James Drake onto the outside there. So, vertical suplex to James Drake on the outside. Drake takes out Gibson in the process. And now Tyler Bate with a kip up while on the apron, and now back walking into the corner. Standing shooting star press on both the Grizzled Young Vets to the outside as the crowd grows in appreciation. Great match here to start us off here at NXT UK Takeover Blackpool. Now it looks like Tyler Bate getting ready for teasing the pedigree. Tyler Driver. There you go. It's got Deej here next to me, so that he could help me out with some of the things. Big forearm tags in Trent 7. Here comes 7. Getting him set. Running power slam. Bate with a headbutt. Diving headbutt. Do we have our first tag champs? 2. Kick out by Gibson. Only getting a 2. Kicking out at the last possible second. Liverpool's number 1. I think on the UK show, they did a really cool thing where they had Gibson giving you a guide to Liverpool, which is real fun if you haven't been able to check out those shows. Oh, it takes him out. So just Trent 7 now in the ring. Burning hammer. 1. But Drake gets in and interrupts the count there. Gibson kicks out at 2.5. And now all 4 men are in the ring. Bate being told to go back into his corner. Drake going back into his corner. Down to Gibson and Trent 7 into the middle of the ring. First, this is awesome of the evening. You take a look at the arena there in Blackpool. Some of those, that little, looks almost like a balcony up there with seating. I don't know if those are VIP, but that looks pretty cool. Big kick to the face there. Kick to the midsection from Gibson. Gets Trent 7 down, and he tags in James Drake, but 7 tags in Tyler Bate. Both men are in. Tyler Bate turns over. Reversal of a pin. Both changing reversals of pins. And only a 2 count as both men get to their feet. Forearm there by Drake. Capo kick there by Tyler Bate. Lays out Drake as he tags in Trent 7.
What a tag team matchup.
They were going for their finish, but Gibson lays out Tyler Bate with a backstabber to the face. Into the corner, James Drake with a drop kick on Trent 7. This could be it. Oh, no. James Drake going up to the top now. 450 splash. I think we have our first tag champs. We don't! Kick out. Wow, Trent 7 kicks out. Crowd going crazy. I thought that was for sure it. They had him up for their finish, laid him out center of the ring. Trent 7 kicks out. And the crowd is dancing. I've never seen a fan base more excited to get a takeover. This feels like when ECW had their first ever pay-per-view, a Barely Legal, and the crowd was just so happy to have a special. And that was great, though. Helter Skelter. Middle of the ring into the 450 splash, but it was only good for a 2 as both of the Grizzled Young Vets continue to work on Trent 7 now. Getting him up here again, but Trent 7 goes down the back of Drake. Big chop to Gibson. Big chop to Drake. Now, but they catch him again. The numbers game. Inzaguri to the back of Trent 7. Gibson now works on the armbar, trying to get the armbar in on Trent 7. 7 trying his best to remain out of that. He's got the forearm. It's locked in. Where's Tyler Bate? I see Tyler Bate trying to collect himself, trying to get back up, but Trent Seven is down in the middle of the ring. Drake trying to cut off Bate, and now he does cut off Bate. And now Tyler Bate again now trying to get up. And now Trent Seven is still in the hold. Tyler trying his best to make sure he doesn't. Now both double arm bars applied by the Grizzled Young Vets onto British Strong Style. Bate and Seven trying to fight out of these holds. Drama at its peak here. Trent Seven doing all he could to just remain in the hold. And now Tyler Bate getting up. Does he have Drake up? Not yet. He's getting him up. Getting Drake up. And now Death Valley Driver on to Gibson. Breaks the hold. All four men are down. Wow, what a match. This is some good stuff to kick us off here. As the tag teams always deliver in NXT. I don't think there's ever been a bad tag team match. They even got the Ascension over in NXT. I mean, come on. Now this is wrestling chant from the sold-out crowd there in Blackpool. Oh, British wrestling. Otherwise, this is wrestling. It's British wrestling. It might be. What is it? This is. I think it's this is wrestling. British wrestling. Someone's got a blue strap, Winged Eagle, Ultimate Warrior style world title belt in the crowd. Now, Bate getting in the ring with Drake. Forearms to the midsection. Forearm to the midsection. Again, a couple. Now an uppercut to Gibson. Now off the ropes, comes back. Spinning wheel kick to both men by Bate. Bate again going to go tag in. Trent Seven, who was just in the ring for like 20 minutes, and his arms dangling there. Yeah.
Out of it.
Oh! Mustache Mountain. 2. Kicked out at 2. They hit. That's their finish, right? Yeah. So now Mustache Mountain hits their finish, and James Drake kicks out at 2. They're getting him up though. They're thinking this is it. They smell victory as Bate goes to the outside but falls down on the apron. I hope he's okay. And now Trent Seven is doing just an incredible job here. His arm is hanging down there. Bate climbing to the top rope, but Gibson has the leg. And now Trent Seven trying to get James Drake up. But Gibson is holding on to Bate's leg. Now he throws Seven into Bate. Bate now on the corners of Gibson, on the shoulders of Gibson, rather. Goes for a clothesline. Oh, my God! Went for a clothesline of Drake. Drake ducked and flew to the outside, knocking Bate off the shoulders of Gibson. Flipped onto the floor. Bate is gone. He's done. It's down to Trent Seven now on his own to battle both of the Grizzled Young Veterans. He goes to the... Oh, he goes for a... Oh, he went to the outside, did Trent Seven, but James Drake drop kick. Now they're getting Seven back in the ring. This is the end, yeah. This is looking like it's over. It's getting him up for a pile driver into the face. Backstabber to the face from Gibson. Drake with the cover. That's it. That's all she wrote. Grizzled Young Vets, your first ever NXT UK Tag Team Champions. We told you. We told you that was going to happen. You just had to figure. But, man, what a match. If you have not yet. Hey, what's going on there, Vinny? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us in the live chat. Unbelievable. If you've not seen this, go out of your way to check this match out. This match was fantastic. 4 guys just brought it to get us started there. And good to be here with everybody. What a match. First ever tag champs, James Drake and Zack Gibson. Who are not being referred to as the Grizzled Young Vets here at NXT UK, but they brought it hard in that match. What a match between Tyler Bate and Trent, with Tyler Bate, Trent Seven, Mustache Mountain coming so close, but instead Gibson and Drake, your tag team champions, and just means now Mustache Mountain's got to go for it and do their thing in the try to get the belts back. There were so many near falls in this match. You enjoyed that match?
Yeah,
that was good stuff. Hello. What a match there to get us started there. NXT Takeover UK Blackpool. NXT UK Takeover Blackpool. And we will be right back here on the coverage here, the live stream of the show here on Watchalong Wrestling. Be right back. All right, everybody, we are back here on Watchalong Wrestling. There are live stream of the full show here at NXT UK Takeover Blackpool. Vincent's asked, how can I watch the match? If you guys want to watch the show, it is streaming live right now on the WWE Network. If you've never signed up, sign up for a free trial. If you have signed up, I think it's $9.99 for the whole month. So if you sign up today, you'll get this. You'll get Takeover Phoenix.
Oh, he's from the UK?
No. That's they're doing a preview here for the original NXT. That's in a couple weeks at Takeover Phoenix. Yeah, Takeover Phoenix. So if you sign up for this, you'll get NXT Takeover, NXT UK Takeover Blackpool. You get NXT Takeover Phoenix. You'll get the Royal Rumble, all for that $9.99. But sign up for the free trial, and you can probably get it for 3 months, include Mania. No problem, Vincent. Thanks so much for checking us out here on Watchalong Wrestling. If you do like what you see, leave a thumbs up and subscribe, and appreciate it, man.
Wow, looks like they're black.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Streaming live on the network day before the Royal Rumble.
Oh.
Pete Dunne. My wife has just gotten home here. This is what's going on.
Oh my God.
She's gotten home for Takeover Blackpool, and got my brother-in-law here on the couch, so we're having a good time here watching and doing here on the stream. Are you going to say hello? That's my wife saying hello here onto the live stream.
He's next and who?
No, he's the main event.
Oh, he's the main
This is
event.
the second match. I think next would probably be Travis Banks and Jordan Devlin.
Who's next?
Probably Travis Banks and Jordan Devlin.
We still have a lot more to come, including this matchup, which is coming up in just a few moments. It's going to be very personal.
Travis Banks, Jordan Devlin, coming up next here on NXT UK Takeover Blackpool. And
That's a toughie. Hey, B.
Jordan Devlin, the protege of one Finn Balor, trained by Balor. And these guys have been feuding for a while on the NXT UK show. Have you guys been watching the NXT UK show? If you haven't been watching, I strongly recommend it. It's been a great show, and I've been binging it over the last weekend to catch up. It's definitely tough, though. I am cognizant of the fact that it's definitely tough to keep up with all these brands with Raw and SmackDown and NXT and 205 and NXT UK. They're showing that earlier today, Devlin laid out Travis Banks as he was making his way into the Empress Ballroom. Are you gonna So yeah, they've been showing that these guys have been going back and forth where basically Jordan Devlin's been trying to sneak attack on Travis Banks for a while here. Oh, nice. That'd be awesome. And in doing so, Travis Banks has been trying to call out Devlin face to face, which Devlin's been ignoring him right and left. Hey Logan, what's going on? The first ever tag team champs, if you're just tuning in, are James Drake and Zack Gibson. But you got to go out of your way to watch that match against Mustache Mountain. Match was incredible. Really, really good stuff. But unfortunately, the Grizzly Young Vets, if you're not a fan of them, they are your NXT UK first ever tag team champions. By the way, I've noticed on the NXT UK, they brought back the one fall chant. And they actually stopped. For those who don't know, the One fall chant is something where the crowd screams one fall after the ring announcer says this match is scheduled for one fall. And then they've gotten rid of it. WWE didn't like it. So now, in order to combat that, when they say one fall, they move along really quick. Vince didn't like it. There you go. Vince didn't like it. So they've stopped it. If you notice the... Okay, sounds good. The announcer there has been... if you notice, the announcers now will go real quick. They'll say, scheduled for one fall, coming down the aisle first in order to combat that. In NXT UK, they don't do it, though. They actually do give you a chance to check that out. Jordan Devlin, I like Jordan Devlin a lot. I think he's really good in the ring. I don't buy Jordan Devlin as a heel. I think he's just your quintessential babyface. And, you know, crowds hate. Oh! Banks laying him out. Flying through the second rope and laying out Devlin as he makes his way down the aisle, now laying him with rights and lefts onto the apron. I mean, now onto the outside entrance ramp there. Really does look like there's only... What's going on, Vincent? Thanks for joining us back here. Were you able to find the show? Devlin taking Banks into the steps. Left knee first into those steps. Banks is out. I'm surprised this match wasn't named as the no DQ match. Yeah, this match, they've been building these guys for a while. I know they've been doing back and forth between Eddie Dennis and Dave Mastiff as well, but I really would expect this match has been built up for a while. These guys should be the match you'd assume to get that no DQ treatment. True. Well, I guess give it a little bit something. Yeah. Well, and Dave's who's here with me made a great point saying he thinks these guys can have that great style match, you know, without, so to speak, the bells and whistles that come with a no DQ match. Whereas Dave Mastiff and Eddie Dennis, the brawling style kind of lends itself more to that kind of, how do you say, I guess lends itself more to the no DQ nature of a match. Devlin, though, seems to have taken out Travis Banks. He's down. Sid Scala, the assistant to the general manager, and one of my favorite parts of NXT UK is down there checking on Travis Banks. Banks is laid out right now with his knee. Wonder if this is to set up something here where they'll bring someone else out. Yeah, Banks is hurt and going to the back, it looks like. Let's listen in on what Jordan Devlin has to say.
So, see it as I know how the match tonight doesn't look like. Have a little bit interview time with Jordan Devlin. The greatest Irish wrestler alive.
Well,
I think this can't be Finn Balor coming out here, do you?
Can you imagine?
That'd be something.
Lights go out.
They hear the demon music coming. Finn? Here we go. Let's listen. It looks like Sid Scala's about to say something.
Jordan Devlin, after what you did earlier today, we had a suspicion you might try something like this. But
Walter'd be crazy.
We have ourselves a backup plan.
Oh, here we go. Let's see who the backup plan is.
Maybe Mark Andrews.
Maybe Mark Andrews. Devlin's in the ring. Lights are out. Is this? It's Finn Balor. Holy crap. Finn Balor is coming out to take on Jordan Devlin at the NXT UK. Tell your friends. This is the show you want to tune in. Finn Balor is coming down to face Jordan Devlin here at the NXT UK. Wow. And the crowd is amped up. This is incredible. Way to get some eyeballs on this sucker, huh?
I do wish we would have gotten the original match. But this
hey, you know what? They build up now the anticipation for eventually to give you Travis Baker. I'm all over the place with this. Jordan Devlin, Travis Banks eventually will have a match, but we're getting Finn Balor against his protege, Jordan Devlin, at the NXT UK.
Look at the surprise.
Unbelievable. Even my wife came back out to check this out after running in for a nap. Look at that crowd who was not expecting this at all. Unbelievable. What a moment. Finn Balor coming to the ring here. He's going to take on Jordan Devlin as the backup plan. He was in town for the unveiling of the NXT UK Performance Center just yesterday, but I don't think anyone could have expected this. This is pretty cool. For those who don't know, Finn Balor trained Jordan Devlin, and Jordan Devlin is his protege. And so, specifically when the lights went out, I was like, my God, is the demon going to be creeping his way down? But Devlin is not happy.
Oh, my God. Are you trained now?
Yeah, trained as his protege.
Oh, Lord.
There you go. The opening match, Vincent, by the way, it was James Drake and Zack Gibson winning the tag titles against British Strong Style, the Mustache Mountain. But look at the crowd there. Even Devlin's covering his ears. Crowd is amped up. Crowd is holy shitting, and what a moment.
I'm holy shit.
My wife's holy shitting as well. And now the crowd with the two sweets. And now, how badass would it be if they had Devlin go over here? Had him beat Finn Balor, and now Banks had to come back for revenge at a later time.
Balor beats him to give us Devlin.
Yes. Very cool. And Balor just looks about as happy as can be to be there. Oh, big slap to the face from Devlin. Now I feel awful for the Eddie Dennis and for Dave Mastiff, who have to come out after this, but them's the breaks. Lays him out, does Balor. Swing blade to Devlin. He's already going. This would be crazy. Already going for the coup de grace, but Devlin smartly moves to the outside, and he goes ahead and does that. Now Devlin trying to collect himself. Now Balor immediately goes, takes him, throws Devlin back into the ring. And now Balor getting up onto the apron, now stalking Devlin in the outside. Big forearm knocks Devlin down to the outside. And that too sweet stuff is international, I guess, huh? Oh, as Balor's getting back in the ring, Devlin kicks the second rope directly into his lower extremities, so to speak, and now drops Balor down to the outside into the barricade. For those who are just tuning in, Finn Balor has taken the place of Travis Banks, and he is coming out. They're having a match now between Balor and his former protege, Jordan Devlin. Balor trained Devlin back in the day, and now Balor's coming out to face Devlin on NXT UK. Balor was in town for the official press conference and the unveiling of the NXT UK Performance Center that took place just yesterday. They were showing some highlights of that on the pre-show. And it was Balor, it was Charlotte. Anyone else was there?
That was it.
Triple H.
Triple H.
And all the other guys who Shawn Michaels was there. A-Train. You know, he's running the stuff there. Devlin now working over Balor on the rope, pushing his neck directly into that bottom rope as Balor struggles to kind of get back to his feet, collect himself. Oh, big uppercut from Devlin to the back of Balor's neck. Balor now on spaghetti legs as Devlin takes Balor and Irish whips him into the rope, rolls through. Big double drop kick to the face there from Balor. Balor now feeling it, trying to get the crowd into it. hashtag, they're showing that hashtag Finn Balor is trending now, which is the first trending they've shown thus far for NXT UK Takeover Blackpool. Balor jumps to the outside, big kick to the face of Devlin. Devlin is down as Balor now. Looks like he's climbing to the top rope. Again, preparing maybe for the coup de grace, but again, Devlin cuts him off, drop kicks Balor, and Balor falls to the outside. This show is so reminiscent to the first NXT Takeover special that was on the network, right down to when it was on the network, the first Takeover special. They were showing the unveiling of the Performance Center in 2013 and showing what they were doing with NXT. And then even on that show, they had Too Cool come out to face the open challenge from the Ascension, Scotty Tuhati and the late, great Brian Christopher, Grandmaster Sexay. So kind of cool to see, you know, why not get a rub and get people talking about this? People who weren't tuning in now find out Finn Balor is on the WWE Network in the middle of a live show for the NXT UK. As that old adage goes, anything could happen in the WWE.
You take a look at the student-teacher aspect of this matchup. Have you ever competed against some of the training?
I remember distinctly a time in my career.
Is this, who's the announcer, the commentator for NXT with Nigel? Is it the dude? I think it's the dude who's on. The dude who's on the commentary team of 205 Live also does NXT UK. And he's really good. I've seen him do some stuff for House of Hardcore. I think he Vic Joseph. There you go. Big chop from Balor as he stalks Devlin around the ring. Devlin trying to collect himself. Devlin with a kick to the midsection of Balor. Chops in the corner. Balor turns around and a big chop of his own as the crowd woos in homage, so to speak, to the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Devlin down in the corner. Goes to kick Balor in midsection, slaps him in the face. Devlin with almost a rock bottom type maneuver and then into a standing moonsault, but only for a 2 count as Balor's able to get that shoulder up and to kick out.
Momentary pause and respite for the RSAs.
I mean, what do you think's going through Devlin's mind right now? This is the first ever NXT UK Takeover. He didn't think he was going to be taken out as a partner's friend, his mentor.
I think the nerves have got to be gone now from Devlin.
Trying to get him into a standing abdominal stretch position. But Balor is up. Yep, now he's into that abdominal stretch. And really twerking back on the arm of Balor.
Stretch center of the ring, and you can see the muscles on Finn Balor just starting to stretch. Even that right shoulder.
Balor now getting Devlin into the able to Irish whip Devlin out of the hold. Let me know in the live chat, guys. Are you guys excited about Balor being here? Do you think this kind of downplays some of the NXT UK roster by having Balor on the show? And now Balor gets him into an abdominal stretch of his own right. Really twerking back now and pulling back on that arm and elbowing the abdominal area of Devlin. Now a big forearm to the back into... Oh, no. Oh! Bicycle kick there to the head. Devlin lays down on Balor. Big kick to the midsection. Balor with the bicycle kick of his own. Both men are down, as it just showed that hashtag NXT UK Takeover is the #1 trend in the world on Twitter. Crowd getting into it here. Clapping for both men to raise to their feet here. I think this definitely is a good idea. I'll explain in a sec here. As Balor with double feet to the face here of Devlin. Devlin backtracks. Big forearm to Devlin. Balor again gets him down. Standing double stomp to the midsection of Devlin as Balor goes to the crowd.
My friend's saying when Takeover UK is happening, but Logan Paul is still the top trend.
Oh, what happened with Logan Paul?
He said he's going to go gay for a minute.
Oh, boy.
And that caused some...
Sorry I asked about Logan Paul. Balor getting up, getting Devlin up here. Devlin with a knee to the face. Drops him over here. Now gets back up. Get Devlin up and drops Devlin down. for a 2 count. Seems like the general consensus, at least in what I've seen thus far on Twitter, is while folks are really excited to see Balor, people were looking forward to Devlin and Banks. So it'll give you some, I guess, a reason to continue to watch NXT UK product. It's a big swing blade from Balor to Devlin. Devlin is down. Balor is sizing him up for, oh, but he's caught with a super kick and now a headbutt by Devlin to Balor. Getting Balor up now. Oh, for a 2 count. Devlin with some innovative offense, really pulling Balor back into a snap suplex. Good stuff. There's a top trend? There you go. Triangle backdrop driver for the 2 count there. As now Devlin looks over on, continues to work over on Finn Balor. Big kick to the midsection.
To that injured midsection.
Now Devlin stalking over a prone Balor as Balor now struggles to his feet. Another kick to the midsection.
Since there's Irish luck and Irish luck, so does the Irish luck cancel out?
So one of Dave's buddies had said, with 2 forms of Irish luck in the ring, does that cancel out the Irish luck? Balor taking Devlin down, kicks him, knocks his feet out there. Big stomps from Balor to Devlin, who's laying down now, going out to the outside area. And Balor now trying to get the crowd into it. Big kick takes down Devlin. Devlin down on the outside. Balor now works him over, gets Devlin back into the ring. Now Balor climbing to the top rope, looking around to the outside. Crowd growing in anticipation, but Jordan Devlin takes Balor out. Big runs Balor's arm into the corner there. Tries to go for the 3 with his feet on the ropes, but Balor still gets out. Very, very close. Now Devlin climbing to the top rope. What is this? Beautiful moonsault, but Balor gets the feet up, gets his knees up. Both men are down now, trying to collect themselves. Balor with a big... Oh, standing DDT into a suplex. Balor now in the corner. Looking over at Devlin. Big double drop kick into the corner. Devlin down in position for it as Balor signaling for the coup de grace, and the entire crowd rises to their feet at the Empress Ballroom. Goes for the coup de grace, and he nails it. Devlin's down. 1, 2, 3. Finn Balor victorious at NXT UK Takeover Blackpool. Very cool. What a cool match that was. That was kind of out of nowhere there, and definitely gets some eyeballs on the NXT UK brand. As the entire crowd does the Balor deal there. One thing they had mentioned during the pre-show when they were unveiling the UK Performance Center was that it was going to be the first of many different worldwide NXT Performance Centers. Obviously, the Performance Center still exists down in Orlando, Florida, but they're now trying to go ahead and do that. Japan would be good. China, I know they've been trying to break into China, especially now with AEW coming out, All Elite Wrestling coming out saying they have a relationship with Shima Sons down in OWE. Maybe that opened up WWE's eyes to do something in China. Would hate to give up that market that they've worked so hard. Freaking John Cena even learned Mandarin to try to grow that fan base down in China. Japan would be very cool. especially with the rumors that WWE has signed Kushida. That could be something.
That's the rumor?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why, oh, I was thinking about Kushida.
Why he lost on the way out and
He leveraged
wasn't really, yeah.
and every single title changed.
Every single one at Wrestle Kingdom. For those who haven't seen Wrestle Kingdom and you want to, go back in the archives. I did an entire live stream, full show, live reaction, much like the one you're watching right now on Wrestle Kingdom 13. Go ahead and check that out. And it was a lot of fun. So definitely check that out. It was 1:30 a.m. start time here in the United States. So definitely a little easier to get up for the 2 o'clock start time. But, you know, always good to watch wrestling at different times. Wow, we're 2 weeks away from the Royal Rumble. Also here in the archives of Watchalong Wrestling. Last week I did an entire watch-along of the Royal Rumble 1999, which was a lot of fun. If you guys have a chance, go check that out. That's the Rock versus Mankind for the world title. And really the match that Rock lays out Mankind with about 9 steel chair shots. And then also just demolishes the guy and, you know, leads to one of the most famous scenes ever in Beyond the Mat and in wrestling history. And then obviously the Royal Rumble match itself featuring Vince McMahon at number 2, Stone Cold Steve Austin at number 1. Go check that out. Full stream, live stream, full show watch along that we did last week at the Royal Rumble 1999. And that we'll do this week with the Royal Rumble 2000. And who's that? Who's that? Luke Menzies from the old rugby league in the front row there for NXT UK, and WWE still utilizing, NXT still utilizing their let's have a guy in the front row wave to everybody and announce he's on his way. No DQ match. Eddie Dennis coming up here against Dave Mastiff, the massive Dave Mastiff. And Eddie Dennis is somebody we've seen a couple times in progress. Yeah. The way that they've kind of built this up is very similar to how NXT had kind of done it with Bull Dempsey and Baron Corbin back in the day. We had someone like Dempsey basically destroying dudes right and left for months on end. Look at Mastiff. He's gigantic. Good God. He's a same. Yeah, he can certainly move. Yeah, he's great. He's a sandwich away from 400 pounds, though. I mean, that guy is huge. But he's this will be anytime Mastiff's in a match, I want to see it, and I think he kind of has that appeal, like. But yeah, Bull Dempsey was destroying dudes, beating dudes right and left, and then Corbin came up. He was doing the same thing until eventually they fought, and Corbin ended up beating Dempsey, and soon, unfortunately, Dempsey was released and never really fully got going. So it's cool to have those two big bulls ready to just tear each other apart.
That's fine by me. Blackpool, England. Dave Mastiff.
Is that Dennis? Oh wow! They're showing him with wearing big glasses and kind of a polo there. It didn't look anything like him. Eddie Dennis was another guy when we've seen in progress, just gets tons of heat from the UK crowd and from the crowd in general. Mastiff has quite the beard. Where's Mastiff's not a progress guy, is he?
I don't think I've seen him.
I think he might be from. Yeah.
Like a lot of the times, most of the people, there's a lot of people in progress who are like regulars.
Right.
Guys like Haskins, Senior Havoc. Who else usually was like CCK, very strong style, like we've done those days.
Right.
But then they've had some guys make appearances, like Finn Balor.
Oh, yeah.
One of his last matches, like it was against Will Ospreay in progress.
Really?
One of his last. They had Samoa Joe make an appearance.
Damn.
Marty Scurll was a champion at one point.
Shit. So they've
had a lot of guys there.
They've telling me how, and that's kind of how Progress has done it here. When they've come to the U.S., they've had some of their regular, brought a lot of their regular guys along, But then they've had some guys, like they had LAX there at the last show when they were here, Progress Wrestling in New York. LAX, the new LAX, who's down in TNA, and they're great. They had probably the match of the night there.
Match coming up at House of Glory. They're going to face Pentagon and Phoenix.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that could be good. They've told me that House of Glory, a local indie group here run by the Amazing Red, is having a match between LAX and Pentagon and Phoenix. Should be really good. They're announcing here that NXT UK will be back on the road February 22nd, February 23rd. You can go and check out some stuff there at WWE.com. I'd love to see them bring this UK brand on tour in the United States. You know, why not? Have these guys brought to the United States and let them do what they're doing. They're saying that Mastiff is 322, but I'm still going to sit with my thought that he's a sandwich away from 400 pounds because he's just humongous. But yeah, he's undefeated. Eddie Dennis already in the ring now.
I guess it makes him look bigger since he's shorter.
Good call.
Probably.
David
I
say
know
he's
Braun,
also very
I
short.
know Braun's like what, 350 maybe.
Yeah, yeah,
And he's like probably 6'5" right now.
yeah. This is a tough spot here for Mastiff and Eddie Dennis. You just had an incredibly hot tag team match to kick us off. Then you had Finn Balor show up out of nowhere. They had a really good match. And now you have these guys here. Hopefully they're given the opportunity to have a good match, and it'll be no DQ, which will help. Crowd's ready for it, though. And let's settle in. No DQ. Eddie Dennis going against Dave Mastiff.
To be honest with you, at this juncture, it's hard to tell.
Mastiff almost looks like a bigger version of Taz back in the day. Just a total bull. Forearms, both men exchanging forearms, rights and lefts, pounding each other in the early going. Mastiff getting the upper hand here now. Oh, but a big knee to the midsection. Dennis on Mastiff. Now climbing in there. Mastiff going after him with the clothesline. Another clothesline. Ducks. Big cross body from Mastiff. As Dave said earlier, he could really move for a guy who is...
This might be one of those matches you don't really expect to be
as good, but then ends up...
But it ends up being like something close to 5-star type.
There you go.
But I can see it.
Dennis trying to get the ref out of the ring and now getting ready to throw Mastiff into the steps, but Mastiff reverses and throws Dennis into the steps in his own right.
Mastiff has been waiting for tonight. He's perfectly fine with this sort of stipulation as Dave Mastiff.
Dave Mastiff now going over, getting the steps into it in his own right, balancing the steps up on their side. Now he rolls Eddie Dennis back into the ring, goes back over to grab the steps, and goes for the bottom part of the steps, so the longer part of the steel steps, and he's carrying those, getting those ready to bring them into the action, so to speak.
What sort of thing do you think he's churned up in his brain over the last 7 weeks?
Getting me, bringing the steps into the ring now, climbing into the ring. As Eddie Dennis rolls to the outside and climbs under the ring in his own right to look for some weapons. Looks like he found a kendo stick. Oh, and he smacks Mastiff stiffly with that kendo stick. Now working him over with the kendo stick. And of course, you always need a kendo stick under the ring for some reason. Not usually. Now Eddie Dennis getting rid of the exposed mat there on the outside, exposing the concrete, and now going over to work over Mastiff on the outside. Oh! Working Mastiff over with the kendo stick with stiff shots to the midsection, stiff shots to the back, really working him over.
Kicks out at 2. But very nasty, vicious early on.
Eddie Dennis said that this brand is built around him, that he's the true big man.
And now really working over Mastiff with that
Opportunity to prove it to back
kendo stick, working him over on the neck area. Now big stiff shot to the midsection of Mastiff with the kendo stick, as now Eddie Dennis is seated on that bottom of the staircase that's now in the center of the ring. I think we're getting our first fuck 'em up chant since the days of ECW here, where Dennis has the kendo stick and waits till Mastiff gets back up, but Mastiff blocks the shot of with the kendo stick from Dennis. Now big headbutt from Mastiff takes Dennis down. Whoa! Home run swing with the kendo stick. Smashes Dennis to the midsection. Another shot to the midsection. Now Dave Mastiff gets Eddie Dennis up for a big power bomb. Boom! Lays him out. Now Mastiff looking around for what else he can get into the fray here, so to speak. Now he pulls the bottom of those stairs into the middle of the ring.
Again, Mastiff has been waiting for this. Mastiff is wanting to take out Eddie Dennis to show his will, and now looking to just
now gets him up for almost a Death Valley driver, teasing the Death Valley driver on top of the steps, but Dennis slips to the back and now wraps him up in a bear hug, but quickly Mastiff elbows him, rolls off the ropes, jumps him up, but Dennis catches Mastiff. His legs are shaking. Oh! Dennis takes down Mastiff with a rock bottom type maneuver onto the stairs. As the crowd chants NXT. And these guys, much as Dave predicted, have won the crowd over. Already a really good match between the two. Unbelievable, though. They're showing Dennis how he was able to carry Mastiff up while his knees are shaking, and then boom, with a spinning rock bottom onto the bottom of the stairs, laying out Mastiff in the process. Now Dennis jumps to the outside. Oh, man, throwing the ring announcer. Is that Mike Rome? Yeah, that's Mike Rome that he got rid of over there. I thought NXT had their own, NXT UK had their own ring announcer. Maybe it wasn't Mike Rome. It did look like him. Also to note, I'm not sure where Nigel and Vic Joseph are, because they're not on the outside of the ring.
They're like up by those podiums.
Oh, gotcha. Oh! Mastiff getting Eddie Dennis on his shoulders and then rolling through. Now Mastiff shaking his head as he climbs to the top rope. Now Mastiff climbing up, teasing a moonsault, which would have been crazy. But now Dennis catches him and now is getting him up for a razor's edge out of the corner. Oh my God, now walking into the center of the ring, carrying Mastiff over his head and just powerbombing him into the middle of the ring. That should do it too, and no. Mastiff kicks out. These guys bringing it here on NXT UK Takeover Blackpool. Then a stun that Mastiff was able to kick out. Seven Bridge is what he's calling that razor's edge. Looked like a crazy version of the razor's edge versus old school fans out here. Ah, there's your table.
Yep, there we go.
He's bringing some tables into the ring.
We'll just put that over the exposed floor and
there you go. Bringing the table into the ring. Crowd's super into it. Oh, now kicking over on the forearm of Mastiff. Picking up the table. Bringing the table into the corner and really getting that all lined up there. And now they're getting that give a table. That's the where's that chant from? Table's getting a big chant here. Oh, big sit out splash there onto his bottom, so to speak, from Dave Mastiff. Knocking the wind, I'm sure, right out of Eddie Dennis. Dennis to the outside. Mastiff quick to follow. And now Mastiff, oh, come on. Come on. Mastiff is teasing a belly-to-back suplex down to the exposed floor on the outside, which would kill both him and Eddie Dennis. Yes. Oh, but Mastiff now has Dennis down again on his shoulders and rolls through Dennis onto the exposed wooden floor. Now a big backsplash to Dennis on the outside. Crowd chanting for one more time. Dennis is like, come on. Mastiff's like, leave me alone. Mastiff and Eddie Dennis, both men are down. On the outside is Mastiff's getting Dennis back into the ring. Climbing back into the ring. You've got to like that they've had completely different wrestlers up and down the card thus far to start us off here at TakeOver. Something I think NXT does really well. So they are doing the UK, one of the chants for, whoa, oh! Mastiff just bounced off each one of the ropes into a moonsault, but missed. Dennis moves out, gets him ready for curtain call type maneuver, has him up and lays him down. That should do it. 1, 2, 3. Oh, he kicks out. That was a curtain call, but I love that. They called it the slop drop, which is the slop drop, but I didn't know we were going to be harkening back to the days of Henry O. Godwin, the hog farmer. But yeah, so that chant where I was getting from is when the UK fans came to WrestleMania weekend a couple years ago, they were doing that for Gable, and they were doing Gable, 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 hoping that Gable and Jordan would debut on the main roster. So that's where that's from, but that's an old, that's a football chant. And football, I do mean, soccer. Dennis now looking over at the table as Mastiff's now up, and he looks like he's trying to get him up again. Unbelievable. 7 bridge here from Dennis, and he now has him up on his shoulders as he's walking across, but Mastiff gets down. Forearm from Mastiff. Another double forearm, both men clobbering each other. Oh, Mastiff goes for it. Dennis spins him, goes for a clothesline in his own right. Back, oh my gosh. Belly to back suplex. Mastiff takes Dennis down. Dennis getting up by where the table is. Mastiff charging. Oh my God! Just totally lays Dennis down with the cannonball into the cannonball sent on through the table in the corner. That should be it. 2. Mastiff still undefeated. And those guys brought it, man. That was a great little match. Dave Mastiff and Eddie Dennis tearing the house down here at NXT Takeover, NXT UK Takeover Blackpool. Clearly not something that rolls off the tongue very well. Good stuff. What would you say is the match tonight so far?
Probably so far it just has to be the tag team.
Yeah, I'd say so far the tag team title match between Mustache Mountain and the Grizzled Young Vets is probably my match of the night, but good stuff overall. You've got something different in every one of the matches. You've gotten a big surprise in Finn Balor coming on the show. Looks like Dave Mastiff is going to be somebody that is built up as a monster in NXT UK, and who knows, maybe at some point, I mean, he's a big dude. He's 300-plus pounds, but he can really move in there, and just proved he could put together a solid 10 to 15-minute match, and who knows, maybe he's somebody who eventually will challenge for that NXT UK Championship. Really good match between him and Dennis, though. And now Mastiff standing in the ring and laughing, and WWE doesn't really have too many of those, for lack of a better term, fat guys to really build around. They used to have so many back in the day, and those guys that just appear to be larger than life. I definitely think there's a place for them, and Mastiff, total badass here, and great showing from both guys here in the early going.
Women's match, I think, might be next.
Yes, women's title match should be next. Get ready. Rhea Ripley against Toni Storm.
And after that should be
the main event. Yeah, I think it's only two more matches. So right now, let's see here. It is around 3:19. So this show should be off the air between 4 and 4:15. So if you're a football fan like myself, you'll get out of here in plenty of time to catch opening kickoff as they're showing the Fighting for My fighting with my family trailer here between The Rock's $7 Productions independent film, all about Paige and her family. It was announced that this will be debuting at the Sundance Film Festival in just a couple of weeks. And actually, if I'm not mistaken, I think in those scenes there where they show the actress playing Paige going against whatever that match is that they filmed for the movie is actually how Zelina Vega got hired to WWE.
Yeah.
I think she was.
That's supposed to be when she faced AJ Lee.
Oh,
so that's what
for the title.
Yeah. Well, what people were kind of not liking about it is like how inaccurate the gear was.
Oh, look at that! It's a Jazzy Gabbert.
They were from the video.
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh, no worries. You got it. Who's that? That's Jazzy Gabbert and who? So two of the Mae Young Classic participants and two women who are a part of the NXT UK roster. So we're getting all set here, most likely for the NXT Women's Championship match. We just went to the all right, getting ready here for the NXT UK Women's Championship. If you guys are joining us here and watching our live stream, you're watching Watchalong Wrestling. I am Tommy on the spot. Thanks so much for checking out our live stream of the show. We have wrestling content throughout the week. We had a lot of fun last week. Not only did we do the live stream of New Japan Pro Wrestling, we did the live stream look back, watch along for Royal Rumble 1989, but then we just hopped on and did some footage from the All Elite Wrestling kind of the rally that went on this past Tuesday. We were able to jump on with you guys and do a little Q&A about that. So a lot of fun stuff. We've had a lot of fun looking back some of the history of wrestling and some of what's going on here. It's a fun time to be a wrestling fan. Just so much alternative. Just in WWE alone, there's 5 different brands now, and such a good time to be a fan with New Japan being as big as always, and All Elite Wrestling, debuting here soon enough. I'm just really excited. It's fun to go ahead and do that, and the more the merrier when it comes to different types of brands and being able to see different types of talent. Getting the opportunity to show what they can do. And I particularly like the UK brand because these guys like Rhea Ripley and Toni Storm, maybe they don't have an opportunity for them right now in the NXT women's division. With Shayna Baszler and with going up against Bianca Belair. But now you have the UK brand. These guys are able to be showcased in their own right. So I think it's great.
SmackDown, NXT, but I really want to become the NXT UK.
Toni Storm, another real bright spot of the, in her own right. She's starting off here and is going now. She's at, getting to a point where she's doing she's also very, very young. And a lot of these guys in the UK brand are really young, have big, bright futures. That'll be fun to kind of check out and see. But I believe Toni Storm is only 21, 22 as well. I'll check that for you guys right now. 23. So she's 23, and Rhea Ripley is, I'll tell you right now, I know she's also rather young as well, 22. So that's crazy. I think these guys are 22 and 23 respectively and are able to have this showcase and have this opportunity at such a big stage on a live event here on the WWE Network. Rhea's a badass too, though. She's had both these women have had some real good highlighted matches on both Mae Young Classics. But for Toni Storm, obviously just won the last one. And here we go. All right. Little look at the shot of the crowd. The crowd's looking like they're Really enjoying the show thus far. As Toni Storm makes her way down to the ring. And good for the folks of the UK to be able to watch a show live and be able to do it. They're 5 hours ahead of us, so when they start Raw each week, it's about, I guess, 1 a.m. They have to watch 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. every single time Raw comes on. So right now in the UK, I believe it's 8:25, so they got to start this show exactly at 7 p.m., which is awesome for them, and I'm glad that the folks over there were able to watch a show at a normal time and be able to do that. So I personally love watching shows at different times. Even getting up in the other night, middle of the night, the other night to watch New Japan, I thought was fun, and be able to do it with some folks who are passionate about wrestling. Toni in the ring now, and she's looking around. Just took her jacket off and waiting for Rhea Ripley to make her way down to the aisle. Rhea getting big time heat as she makes her way down the aisle here. Also saw the other day on NXT UK that Deonna Purrazzo is a part of the UK roster, which is interesting because she's American. So it's cool to see that they have some American folks who could be working down in NXT UK, and that it doesn't just need to be folks from the UK who are in the actual, that are out there and doing their thing. They were showing these guys entering the building before, and I thought it was funny that Toni Storm showed up in street clothes, but it looked like Rhea Ripley showed up in her actual, attire when walking into the arena, which I thought was funny. Rhea showing the Women's Championship there. Similar to the men's title, but just with the white strap. I think the titles for NXT UK have looked really great. They've done a really good job with those belts, which I think is awesome. All right, here we go. NXT Women's Championship match. He does. He says one fall, then he pulls the mic down. That is not, by the way, that is not Mike Rowe. My bad on that.
Introducing first, the challenger from Gold Coast, Australia,
Toni Storm in her own right is from Australia, so from the Gold Coast. Both are from Australia. Look at that. I was just saying the women's title looks very similar to the men's UK Championship.
I think
I
don't think it's the exact same design. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at it up close. I think it looks slightly different. It looks like it is.
So do we have a prediction here? Do we think that this is a title change?
I'm not sure. Because I feel like they would put it on somebody's side.
Yeah,
But it's like at the same time, if they're gonna put it on Rhea Ripley, kind of well, not early, but before she becomes such a big thing.
Right.
I think they might want to keep it on her for a little bit.
It would establish the championship as a big deal to have Rhea Ripley hold that title for a lengthy period of time. So who knows? I think that could certainly be there. Let me know what you think if you're in the live chat. Who do you expect to win this match? Is it going to be Rhea Ripley or is it going to be Toni Storm? Are you predicting a title change here, or will Ripley continue her dominance as she goes for a big high knee? Forearms all over as Toni Storm coming with sharp offense to get going there. Now going into a big forearms there, rights from Toni Storm to the head of Rhea Ripley. Ripley pushing off. And gets Toni Storm up and drops her to the ground. Face first. Now Ripley working over Storm with big forearms to the head. As Toni Storm now goes with rights and lefts of her own right. Now Rhea Ripley goes to the outside as Toni Storm goes to chase her on the outside, and they're running around the ring here. Storm really going after Ripley. Ripley kicks Storm off. And Ripley now running on to the outside of her own right. Oh, wow. Dives to the outside, does Storm, taking Ripley out. Big kick to the back there of Rhea Ripley by Toni Storm. Toni Storm pulling Ripley up. Forearms of her own right, taking her down. Big chop to Rhea Ripley. Another chop there to Rhea Ripley. Now Storm taking Ripley back into the ring. Oh, now pulling on her hair. Oh, and a big kick to the head, top of the head. Ripley now with big kick to Toni Storm, sending her into the barricade there. Now Ripley getting Storm back up, throws her into the second turnbuckle. Now another big stomp. Stomps into the corner there from Ripley as Drake does his best of the referee to get Ripley to lay off of the intense offense she's been delivering here to Toni to start off. Now big shoulders to the midsection as Toni Storm drops down into a seated position in the corner, where Ripley kind of now sizing her up. Trash talking her in the meantime. Stiff kicks in the corner. And now Rhea Ripley bringing Toni Storm into the center of the ring as she continues to kind of lay her down there, but Storm with a big kick out. Rhea Ripley now working over the lower back of Toni Storm as Storm now trying her best to kind of move the legs apart and get out of this hold that Ripley's applying. Ripley now getting her back down, but Ripley kicks out at one. And now works over Toni Storm in this hold while pulling her hair and trash talking her. You lined Rhea Ripley up with Pete Dunne. I think they could pass for siblings.
That's what a lot of people were saying.
WWE
UK champion, UK women's champion.
They definitely do. They look like brother and sister. Forearm from Storm. Another forearm from Storm. She's still in this hold here by Ripley, but now she's starting to power out. Try to hit her with forearms to the jaw. Finally gets out of the hold. Ripley with kicks Storm off. Big forearm to the back of the head of Ripley there. Of Storm there. Ripley now picks up Storm for a vertical suplex. Big vertical suplex. Brings her down. Kick out at 2 by Toni Storm. Now she picks Toni Storm back up. Picks her up for a big slam, body slam down to the middle of the ring mat there. Now toying with her. Pulls up Toni Storm again. Excuse me. Big power slam. Going for another cover. Another 2 count. This match in the early going definitely feels a little less than the crowd. I don't know if the crowd is tired, but it seems like I guess with Rhea Ripley just having all the offense, it's definitely a little bit of a step down in the matches. But Toni Storm kicks Ripley into the corner just as I say that, And now finally able to get back to her feet. Charges her, but no.
Probably
Big drop kick from Rhea Ripley. Yeah, as Dave just said, definitely, I think, a burnt crowd there.
We've experienced firsthand
Oh.
it's like at those shows.
We've experienced burnt out crowds all the time at these shows. And I think that's definitely what's going on right now.
We've been burnt ourselves.
Yes, of course. Especially you go to a show and it's you go to a pay-per-view these days. Every pay-per-views are 5-6 hours long. You can't help but, at times be a little burnt out yourself.
Like cheering and yelling the whole time.
Yeah,
Yes, sorry.
it definitely gets tiring. So, you can't blame the crowd here for being able to, for being also ready for whatever's going on with Pete Dunne, the main event, that forthcoming, and then also, they've had so much. Everything's been a million miles an hour on this show. Great tag match to start. Finn Balor returned out of nowhere, showing up here to go off against Jordan Devlin. Nice no DQ match, and crowd's tired, so this is what it is. But I think Rhea Ripley and Toni Storm are definitely working hard and doing what they can do to get the crowd into it. I don't think this is necessarily a bad match. If you think it's a bad match, though, let me know in the comment section here in our live chat, and let me know. Rhea Ripley just said, "You want to play with the big dogs?" I went off the ropes. Wow, that was crazy. Storm throws Rhea Ripley off the ropes. She turns around to double noggin knocker. Both women down. Crowd now getting into it, yeah. That definitely looked like a stiff double headbutt there as both women go down hard to the outside. Big forearm there from Toni Storm. Now, both women, as they get up, exchanging forearms. Storm now the aggressor. As Rhea Ripley's forearms are having no effect on Storm. Storm now, both women grabbing each other's head and leveling each other with forearms of their own right here. Crowd really getting into it now, as it's starting to pick up a bit. Match before this match, Scotty Boy, was pretty good. Honestly, Eddie Dennis went a no DQ match with Dave Mastiff. Mastiff's a beast. I'd say go back and watch it. There hasn't been a bad match on the show thus far. Kurt Angle-like Germans as she's holding on to him and then turning over to keep the German suplexes going. Shades of the late Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle. Now big elbows to the back of the head by Rhea Ripley. Storm goes over into a... Oh, no. Couldn't get... Teased her finish. No! Another reversal as Storm gets a 2 count. Toni Storm really powering up here. Getting Rhea Ripley back up to a standing position. Now hooks the arms. Looks like Storm Zero, but no. Rhea Ripley with a back body drop and a roll-up now by Storm. Both women exchanging pinning combinations, trying to get the upper hand on the other. Ripley now trying to get Texas Cloverleaf. Inverted Texas Cloverleaf. Ripley has on Toni Storm. But yeah, Scotty Boy, I would definitely suggest going out and checking out that match. I thought both, I don't think there's been a bad match on the show. Dave Mastiff, a total beast. For a guy as big as him, who's probably 320, 350, he could really go. And now Toni Storm trying to crawl towards that bottom rope. Trying to get over there as Rhea Ripley continues now pulls Storm back into the center, still in that inverted Texas Cloverleaf, but Toni Storm is able to reverse it into an ankle lock submission hold and pulling Rhea Ripley back into the center of the ring. Rhea Ripley looking like she might tap. Could be time for a new champ here. Now Rhea Ripley getting ready to go to the bottom rope, reaching towards that bottom rope. And now again, Rhea Ripley going for that second rope. Did eventually get it. Referee breaks the hold.
I don't ever remember seeing Toni Storm use a submission before, Nigel. Well, this may even change what we mentioned at the beginning of the match.
No, Storm. Clobbers are in the corner.
Follows in on the champion, the challenger.
Another German suplex into a pinning combination with a nice bridge. 2 and oh, Ripley kicks out.
By the champion.
Crowd getting to their feet. They're sensing potentially a women's title change here. For those who are just tuning in and have not paid attention earlier, James Drake and Zack Gibson became the first ever NXT UK Tag Team Champions at the start of the show in a great match against Mustache Mountain. Toni Storm now doing what she can, slapping the holy hell out of Rhea Ripley, gets Ripley up and now delivering forearms to her. Now a big reverse kick, but Rhea Ripley throws Toni Storm down to the ring, down to the mat.
Trying to get away from Rhea Ripley. And now Ripley's looking for the riptide.
Riptide could be getting her up for the Riptide, and she nails it. That could be it. 2. Oh, but Toni Storm kicks out. We've seen a lot of people all night long kick out of finishers and say, other than the coup de grace in the Balor Devlin match, pretty much everyone's kicked out of their finish. Rhea Ripley looking really frustrated here. Now it looks like Rhea Ripley is going over to try to get Toni Storm back up to her feet. Trash talking over there. Big clothesline. Takes down Toni Storm. Now pulling Storm back up to a vertical base. And another clothesline takes down Storm. And again now, with Rhea Ripley back on offense, the crowd seems to be growing a little frustrated. Rhea goes for a clothesline, but Storm gets out. Another big headbutt, which I hate to see. Storm 0! Could be a new champ. 2, and Rhea Ripley kicks out of Toni Storm's finish in the center of the ring. Storm 0 hit it perfectly. Crowd rose to their feet. Now the crowd showing their appreciation as both women are down, and both women are looking for answers as to how to put the other women away.
What a championship match, Nigel. Both of these women playing everything on the line tonight. But it speaks volumes about the value of the prestige of the NXT UK Women's Championship.
Now dueling chants of let's go Rhea, let's go Toni. Both women getting up together there, head to head. Getting back to a vertical base, standing up. Forearms from Toni Storm to Rhea now. Right to her face, right to the side of her jaw. Now Rhea winds up in a big right hand to her own right. Riptide again, but no. Storm gets out of it. Now has Rhea by the hair. She's going for Storm 0 again. If she hits it, she does. Is this new women's champ? Toni Storm gets the win with Storm 0, a second Storm 0. And is this a sign of things to come? We've seen 2 new champions already tonight. Will Joe Coffey become the third as he goes for the NXT UK Men's Championship coming up next? Big win for Toni Storm. And what a year for her now, winning the Mae Young Women's Classic at WWE Evolution last year, I guess. And now 2019 starts off even better as she becomes the NXT UK Women's Champion. Empress Ballroom into it, crowd into it, and both women now as Toni Storm celebrates holding up the NXT UK Women's Championship. Good match. I think at times it was a little slow, but they really were able to recover. They were able to do what they needed to do, and I thought that at the end of the day, they did a really good job. And now a big pump handle slam there from they're showing kind of the highlights there. Rhea Ripley hit the Riptide. Toni Storm kicked out. Toni Storm hit Storm Zero. Rhea Ripley kicked out. And I thought, at the end of the day, though, they did a really good job and a good match. And it's been a good show. I don't think anything on the show has been bad as we get ready here for the main event. And, let me know what you guys have thought here on the show as we continue. And now they're showing Toni Storm going for that second Storm Zero. For those of you who have not heard, by the way, NXT UK, the next time they'll have a big special on the network, at least that's what it's being promoted as right now, is a special on the network in which there's going to be a Worlds Collide tournament. For those of you guys who haven't heard about this, it's going to be 5 superstars from NXT, 5 superstars from NXT UK, and 5 superstars from 205 Live competing in a tournament that is supposed to be a WWE Network special over Royal Rumble Access weekend. And the winner of that 15-man tournament will get a big NXT. Look at that guy. He's so excited. Still holding up his glass or something. I don't know what that is. But the winner of that tournament gets a title shot of their choosing. So that'll be something to look at as Toni Storm continues to parade around there and be able to do it. I will be on hand for Royal Rumble weekend down in Phoenix. We're going down there, making the trip. So who knows? Maybe I'll be on hand at Access for some of that tournament. So definitely keep it locked here. Check out what we're doing here on Watchalong Wrestling and continuing to give you guys the best coverage that we possibly can. What have you guys thought thus far about NXT UK Takeover Blackpool? Let me know in the chat. We have the chat function open. Let me know what you guys have thought about the show. If you guys have liked the show. If you guys have thought maybe it's too much. I personally have really enjoyed the idea of the show taking place. And, again, it's different. It's fun to have a spotlight on the UK. Their fans certainly deserve this. Look how excited the fans are. Chanting for Toni Storm as she celebrates with the crowd as we get set. Oh, they're showing the Nigel McGuinness Chasing the Magic documentary that's coming out next on the WWE Network. If you get a chance to check that out, I highly recommend it. I don't know if it's going to be good, but Nigel McGuinness had his own documentary that was really good. And if you don't know the Nigel McGuinness story, if you just know him as an announcer in WWE for NXT and for NXT UK, he was one of the best wrestlers in the world. And I was at his final Ring of Honor show against Daniel Bryan. Both were going to WWE, and then it just did not work out. So I'm interested to check this out. I'll definitely try my best to provide some sort of report on it for you guys. But Chasing the Magic, the Nigel McGuinness story, on immediately following NXT UK Takeover Blackpool. So very cool, and I'm looking forward to see that myself. And it's really cool that Nigel's been able to get this chance, way later than originally. I mean, originally this was 2009 when he was coming to WWE. So for him to be able to do what he needs to do and get his spot in, as an announcer for NXT and for NXT UK is just great. And I'm excited for it. I think it should be great. There's Charlotte Flair, who was also there yesterday at the press conference for the NXT UK Performance Center. And then Tom Harper, what's going on? Thanks for joining us here in the live chat. They're showing Architects, the Doomsday theme song. We'll say NXT UK theme song, in my opinion, has been really good. And the UK show for NXT, I think, has done really well when it comes to that, and it's been cool. Probably one of the better theme songs for any of the shows, at least right now. So Pete Dunne now has held this UK championship for 601 days, which is completely crazy when you consider how that was May 20th, 2017, as they're showing the package right now when he defeated Pete Dunne, became the second holder of the UK Championship, and we've met him a couple times at Progress, and been able to actually pose with that belt, and it's been good stuff. So we'll see if this is it. I'm going to let you guys listen in on the video package promoting the match between Pete Dunne and Joe Coffey.
To being the longest reigning champion of the modern era. No matter how strong, no matter how big, holds up and down, I'll bend their joints, I'll crack their fingers, I'll submit them, whatever I've got to do to get the win. This vicious.
NXT UK Takeover Blackpool. There is going to be a change of
This is
the
now Joe
guard.
Coffey talking.
Where was Joe Coffey when the first WWE inaugural UK Championship tournament happened in Blackpool? Where was he? Yeah, that's right. I was sitting in the house, sitting at home with the telly on. I had it on. I saw Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne, Mark Andrews. You know what? I switched it off because I couldn't watch it because it was bitter. I was extremely bitter that I wasn't there. It's about me. It's about my opportunity.
Well, that's Ligara.
My kingdom. It's about my UK Championship. What poetic justice would it be to take and rip the UK Championship from Pete Dunne? Came out here, signed the contract, and instead Dunne snapped his fingers. You talk too much.
That's the rest of Dallas. Mark Coffey and Joe Coffey from behind.
It's now time for the Iron King to stand and claim his throne. Pete Dunne has been avoiding a real challenger ever since he won that UK Championship. The results always the same. A bitter end for Joe Coffey.
Coffey looks like an absolute beast. And there we go. So Joe Coffey versus Pete Dunne for the NXT UK Championship, our main event of the evening on the first ever NXT UK Takeover Blackpool show. Pete Dunne of obviously Progress Wrestling fame, Joe Coffey obviously of Insane Championship Wrestling fame, big time superstar for Insane Championship Wrestling. And here we go. So really at the start, Joe Coffey has been able to do a lot with the Colossus, the rest of the Colossus coming out now, right? Including his brother Mark Coffey. Wolfgang as well. And now here comes Joe Coffey. I'd be very surprised if Joe Coffey's the one to finally take down Pete Dunne, but what I will say is that it's kind of one of these deals where it's one of these situations where he's had that title for so long. At some point, they're going to change the championship. And typically WWE, what I've noticed with them, when they start to really pump up how long someone's held that title, they usually change the title. It's kind of their own strategy of how to deal with things. They did a situation like that with the New Day. I feel like they started to really build up. They were going to be the longest reigning tag champs ever. And then New Day lost the belts like right after they hit the record. But so far, the Bruiserweight has really done his thing and kept that title for a long period of time. Coffey in the ring now. What a spot for Coffey. He was somebody who really kind of came out of nowhere in terms of WWE UK. As he said during that preview, he wasn't even in the original UK tournament. That UK tournament where Pete Dunne made it to the finals against Tyler Bate and eventually lost. Joe Coffey wasn't even in the tournament. So that's why you're saying he's so bitter, and makes sense. He wasn't even brought in. And here we go. The crowd getting ready for the entrance of Pete Dunne, the NXT champion. NXT UK champion. It'll be interesting to see if he comes down with Mustache Mountain to show that he's also got a crew with him after Joe Coffey came down with Wolfgang and Mark Coffey. But nope, here he comes, the Bruiserweight. Now, he's still wrestling for NXT proper as well, right? Regular NXT.
Yeah, you could still.
Doing his trademark holding of the title in his mouth. Still no idea how they do that. They're talking about how he's had the longest streak and the longest title reign of anyone in the modern era. Both men standing there, big face-to-face. And here we go. The main event of the evening. Let me know what you guys have thought about NXT UK Takeover Blackpool. If this has been something that you guys have enjoyed. I feel like this has been a little bit of a, you know, where this ranks, I guess, amongst the other NXT UK specials against the NXT Takeover specials. You guys are watching along here with me. I'm Tommy on the Spot. This is Watchalong Wrestling. If you like what you see, please do leave a like and subscribe. We'll be back tomorrow and all throughout the week with a ton of Royal Rumble hype and a ton of whatever else breaks down. We'll review it right here at Watchalong Wrestling. Pete Dunne holding the title up as the two men are face-to-face. Big boos for Coffey. He's originally from Glasgow, Scotland. Time right now is roughly, let's see here, it is 3:57. So I'm thinking these guys may have a long match here. We might want to settle in. The show is supposed to be from 2 to 4:30. That's obviously New York time. Obviously in Blackpool, where they are, it's 7 p.m. starting time. So it's about 9 p.m. over there. I wonder, one of the things I wonder about the brand moving forward is if they're going to keep Mustache Mountain as a tag team or split them off and have those guys as single competitors. In that When Worlds Collide tournament that's coming out in a couple of weeks, Tyler Bate is in that tournament on his own. But here we go. The referee holds up the title, and we are underway. UK Championship match. Pete Dunne defending the championship against Joe Coffey. And here we go. And they're really talking about that reign so much that, do we have an official prediction?
Sure.
I'm thinking Pete's going to hold on to the belt. I'm going to have a little faith, even though they've mentioned it 100 times that he's hit over 600 days with the title. They're talking about how the experience advantage would go to Joe Coffey. He's been wrestling since 2005. Dunne now really circling around Coffey as Coffey puts up his fists, threatening to come at Pete Dunne. Both men lock up, collar and elbow. Dunne really trying to back Coffey up into the ropes and does get the better of the exchange. But Coffey now puts his hands up, and the referee is trying to break the hold, which Pete Dunne does. Coffey walking around and kind of stalking Dunne now. Both men feeling each other out. Pete Dunne now works over the left arm of Joe Coffey. As a big bruiserweight chant kicks off here in the Empress Ballroom. Now Pete Dunne working over the wrist, the left wrist of Joe Coffey. Joe Coffey rolls out, though. Big hip up of his own right. And now he works over the arm of Pete Dunne. Takes Dunne down to the ground. Works over that wrist. Now continues to try to level Dunne with his wrist. Now rolls over, as does Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne getting back to his feet. Both men are up to their feet, but Joe Coffey continues to work over the wrist of Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne with a kip up of his own right. 2 kip ups now as he attempts to break the hold, and does. Now big forearm smash to the face of Joe Coffey. Saying that the forearm barely affected Coffey. Coffey definitely the bigger of the two. Giving a shout out to ICW is Nigel McGuinness. Both men continue to feel each other out. Test of strength coming up. Old school test of strength. Warrior Hogan-esque, I guess. Now both men are down. Now Pete Dunne continues to pull back and arc back on that left shoulder of Joe Coffey. Now working over the fingers. The villain Marty Scurll would be proud. Pete Dunne working over each one of the fingers of Joe Coffey while he stands on Coffey's right hand and now tries to really kind of overpower him here and continue to work on that shoulder. Pete Dunne now trying to get Coffey back down, but Coffey using his strength to avoid it until now. Now he does get him down. And now Dunne is working over the ankles and the feet of Joe Coffey, really twerking back on that right leg of Joe Coffey as he has the other leg pushed on there now, and now really twerking back on that right ankle of Joe Coffey. So in the early going, these guys having a real technical match. Now Joe Coffey with a headlock now onto Pete Dunne as both men get back up to their feet. Pushes Dunne off the ropes. Dunne reverses, pushes Coffey into the ropes, and now Coffey looks like he's getting him over for a Boston Crab, but Dunne blocks and turns it over into an armbar submission hold. But Joe Coffey able to get back on his feet, try to go for a pinning submission, and the hold is blocked as both men stare at each other and get appreciation from the NXT UK crowd. Crowd solidly behind Pete Dunne here as another Bruiserweight chant starts throughout the Empress Ballroom live in Blackpool. Both men looking like they're trying to figure each other out as Joe Coffey goes for another test of strength, but quickly grabs into a headlock and a kick to the midsection of Pete Dunne. Now working him over with a big stiff uppercut, takes Pete Dunne down. Now Joe Coffey goes to pick Dunne up by his hair, and another uppercut takes Dunne down. Now working over that nerve hold of the neck of Pete Dunne. Now Joe Coffey getting Pete Dunne back up. Big headlock as Dunne continues to kind of work out of that and back and try to back up Joe Coffey. Now off the ropes, throws Coffey off the ropes. Leapfrog, down, back up. And now they're both, and Pete Dunne eventually catches him with a big body block and taking Joe Coffey down. Now going for that big, going back and working all along now his ankle as well as his left shoulder as he gets him into another innovative submission holds. Coffey now trying his best to get over to that bottom rope. And he is able to do so, which forces the ref to come over and break it. But Pete Dunne kicking the wrist of Joe Coffey away from that bottom rope. Pete now working over Joe Coffey now, taking him back into the center of the ring. Tries to whip Joe into the ropes, but Joe whips Pete into the ropes and then gets him up into the air. But On the way back down, Pete Dunne has caught Joe Coffey for another submission hold and now has him working over that armbar submission hold. Both men are still on their feet, as is Coffey. Coffey now able to hook the neck of Pete Dunne, now has him up out of the submission for a vertical suplex, but while vertical, Pete Dunne trying to get out of it and not allowing the vertical suplex by hitting him with knees to the top of the head. A lot of power here in the early going from Joe Coffey. And now Pete Dunne right back into that armbar submission hold as both men remain on their feet. But Coffey's starting to fade a bit.
That speaks to the strength that is still in the body of the Iron King. Coffey again reaching out, looking for the top rope.
Coffey looking for that top rope.
Keep the submission locked in.
Making Coffey expend some energy.
Now he looks over as both men are continuing to try to gain the advantage here in this standing. But Coffey now with a big suplex, float over suplex, but only for a 2 count. Pete Dunne kicking out at 2 as Joe Coffey argues with the official, and the crowd growing restless here. Now clapping, trying to get Pete Dunne back into it, trying to will Pete Dunne on throughout this match. Pete Dunne climbing now back up to his feet. Big elbow. Both men exchanging left hands now. Joe Coffey with the advantage. Throws Pete Dunne over the top rope onto the floor. Joe Coffey now walking, making his way to the outside to kind of go after Pete Dunne. Coffey going ahead, going over now, trying to work over Pete Dunne, get him back up to his feet. He's able to do so and now whips Pete Dunne into the corner, but Dunne flips off the staircase with a big drop kick into the corner on the outside. Big bruiserweight chant breaks out. Dunne going for a vertical suplex, but Joe Coffey blocking, both men still on the outside. Coffey kicks, Dunne rather, kicks Coffey in the face. Oh, Dunne picks, Coffey throws Dunne in the air, catches him on the outside with a big body slam to the outside area, right onto the arena floor. Both men are down as Joe Coffey gets back up to his feet. What are they chanting? Oh, they're chanting Mamma Mia, I guess in honor of Mauro Ranallo, who is not there. But we'll be on hand, I'm assuming, for NXT TakeOver Phoenix in just 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today, actually. Joe Coffey now backed up into the ropes as the referee continues to count on Pete Dunne on the outside. Looks like Pete Dunne is continuing to collect himself on the outside. Dunne getting back, rolls back into the ring, and immediately is met with a bunch of stiff kicks and stomps by Joe Coffey. Coffey now throws Pete Dunne into the corner again now. Throwing him into the corner over and over and over. Now dropping Dunne onto his knee. Backbreaker there from Joe Coffey, and another one drops Pete Dunne down to the mat with a sidewalk slam for a 2 count. Both men are down. Joe Coffey looking frustrated here as Pete Dunne continues to find a way out of all this innovative offense here by Joe Coffey. Pete Dunne with a big stiff right as Coffey approaches him from his backside. Oh, dropping that knee onto the face of Pete Dunne. Now goes to try to get Pete Dunne back up to his feet. Oh, big stiff forearm to the back of the upper back of Pete Dunne from Coffey. Another stomp from Coffey. Continues to stomp him now as he has Pete's head over by the bottom rope. Holds onto that top rope to provide a little extra leverage.
NXT UK Takeover is not
Referee trying to get Coffey off Pete Dunne.
Joe Coffey does not care. What do you think he cares about right now? Is that WWE United?
Now he gets Pete Dunne up. Another big bear hug as he continues to work on the abdomen and the lower back area of Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne doing what he can to break out of the hold, but really is Joe Coffey's got it locked in pretty good. Now Pete Dunne trying to headbutt his way out of it. It looks like it's working. Pete Dunne, Joe Coffey now turning Pete around, though, and continuing to provide extra leverage in that bear hug. Pete's still staying in the bear hug. His legs wrapped around the waist of Joe Coffey as Coffey stands in the center of the ring. Just kind of ragdolling Pete Dunne around now. Crowd getting into it, trying to will Pete Dunne to break out of this hold here. Pete Dunne now working on getting out of the bear hug by taking his two knuckles and digging them into the eyes of Coffey, which does break the hold. Over to head, belly to belly suplex released from Joe Coffey. Good for a 2 count as Pete Dunne kicks out. Now Pete Dunne crawling into the corner as Joe Coffey goes into the other opposite corner and really kind of measures Pete Dunne up here as Pete Dunne makes it back to his feet. Coffey charging with full head of steam, but goes into the turnbuckle as Pete Dunne ducks out of the way. Both men with stiff headbutts to each other. Wow. Joe Coffey was going for a right. Bruiserweight ducked. Pete Dunne with a right of his own, and it sent Joe Coffey flying all the way back to the opposite corner of the ring. Throws Pete Dunne into the corner, but Dunne flips out. Big enziguri to Joe Coffey in the center, into his face there in the turnbuckle. Coffey rolls around, flips Pete Dunne over his head for belly to back, but Pete Dunne lands on his feet, and a stiff kick to the face as Joe Coffey gets up to his knees. Big bruiserweight chants from the sold-out Empress Ballroom. Pete Dunne to the top rope while Coffey's to the outside. From the second turnbuckle, a big moonsault to the outside. As a huge NXT chant breaks throughout the crowd. Both men are down on the outside arena floor. Now Dunne getting Coffey ready, trying to get him back into the ring, gets him into the ring, rolls him back into the ring, and follows him into the center of the ring. They're chanting UK with a big woo-woo chant, like as if the Too Sweet chant had broken out. Pete Dunne with a big reversal drops Joe Coffey to the center of the ring and a 2 count. These guys both giving it all they have. Really good match here. Crowd getting into it as both men are down, and Pete Dunne continues to look for answers as to how he's going to be able to put Joe Coffey away. Nice shot of Pete Dunne's excruciating-looking knee tattoo. I don't know how he does it. Now continuing, both men getting up to their feet. Pete Dunne takes Joe Coffey. Irish whips him into the corner, but Coffey reverses. Pete Dunne gets to the top rope. Joe Coffey with a big cross body off the top from Joe Coffey and almost a pounce on Pete Dunne into the corner. Oh, big splash onto Dunne in the corner now. Coffey gets him up for a power bomb. Now gets him up and goes for a cover. Is this a new champ? Just a 2 count. Excuse me. As Pete Dunne is able to kick out at the last possible second. Great match here between Coffey and Dunne. Really innovative reversals by both men. Both men down, center of the ring right now. Crowd chanting solidly behind the bruiserweight Pete Dunne, trying to get him going. Crowd clapping, getting into it. And now looks like Joe Coffey's getting him up for a pile driver. Oh my God, now grabbing the top of the legs. But Pete Dunne rolls out. Now into a Boston Crab from Coffey. Really twerking on the lower back of Pete Dunne. A lot of pain there from Pete Dunne as Pete Dunne now tries to make his way to that bottom rope. but Coffey has that Boston Crab on pretty much cinched in at this point. Now big kicks from Coffey. Another kick. Continues to stomp the head of Pete Dunne, and he goes back into that Boston Crab. Nigel is talking about how he thinks that Pete Dunne is out, and it looks like Pete Dunne is out, but he suddenly gets back up and is able to get to that bottom rope, forcing the release of the Boston Crab. Both men are down yet again. Crowd clapping, getting back into it. Willing Pete Dunne on here.
Both these superstars leaving it all on the line.
I think Joe Coffey's really impressed in this match. I think a lot of folks, you know, your casual fan isn't necessarily going to know who he is, but he's definitely done a good job here in this match, and really kind of reminds me a little bit of a Mike Knox or someone like that who didn't really get much of a chance in WWE. Certainly he's better than Knox in the ring, at least would appear to be. But again, as they get up, Pete Dunne continues to work on the fingers of Joe Coffey, and now they're both exchanging headbutts to each other, stiff headbutts. As the crowd boos every time Coffey gives a headbutt. Cheers every time Pete gives a headbutt. Both men now double knocking each other with double headbutts here at the exact same time. In the center of the ring as they continue this test of power. Both men now with a huge double headbutt knocking each other down to the outside. Both men down as they get a nice shot of the sold-out Empress Ballroom. Now they're chanting UK Wrestling. Now back to a This Is Wrestling chant. Or British Wrestling chant. Pete Dunne continuing to get up here, grabbing onto the top rope here as he's trying to get back up to his feet. Charging his Coffey, but Pete Dunne moves with a big snap German suplex, but Coffey rolls right through back up to his feet. But Dunne takes him, brings him right down to the mat, and now has him in a chokehold submission with his legs. But Coffey is getting back to a standing position. Now goes for a pin, but Pete Dunne rolls through and is able to get him into a chokehold submission type maneuver again. Pete Dunne doesn't have all the submission hold, but he continues to work on it as Joe Coffey tries to roll out. Pete Dunne now grabbing Coffey with his legs as Coffey now goes and tries to pull Dunne up and does into a vertical. Oh, and now. Oh, it looked like he was going for a tombstone pile driver. But again, Pete Dunne was able to grab the leg of Coffey, bring him down, and now get him into an ankle lock submission hold. Ankle lock is in there. These guys have had a real good technical match back and forth here. Pete Dunne continuing to work over the leg of Joe Coffey. Coffey trying to power up here. Now Coffey trying to hit the ankle of Pete Dunne with rights and lefts of his own right. Now trying to pull up Pete Dunne. Big German suplex. Right up, dropping Dunne right to the back of his neck. Frustration setting in for Joe Coffey, but he's feeling it. He thinks maybe thinks he's got this. Goes into the corner. Levels him up. Oh, but he goes for a spear, but Dunne moves away and hits him with the knee to the side of the face. Oh, another reversal from Coffey. Discus punch, but Pete Dunne moves. Coffey goes for a moonsault, but is hit with a forearm on the way down. Bitter end from Pete Dunne. Is that it? 1, 2, kicks out. Wow, everybody's kicked out of each other's finish here. What a match. Really good match here between the two, and they're going on now about, it's got to be close to 20 minutes. Yeah, about 20 minutes exactly. Both men down, giving it all they can, but that was great. They're re-showing how he went up for a caught with a forearm there. They're re-showing some highlights as both men remain down. Pete Dunne doing what he can to get back up. A real showcase here for both Dunne and for Coffey. You expect this from Dunne, but I think Coffey's really showed a lot and is really going to be a mainstay here in the UK division here, NXT UK, whether or not he wins the championship. Dunne going up to the top, but he's caught here by Coffey, who's on the apron and now pulling Dunne back onto the apron. Looks like he's getting ready for a German on the apron, which would be insane. Now, again, Pete Dunne pulling on that right index finger. Again, this would be a match. Oh, big time headbutt to the midsection. Throws Dunne into the back corner and now getting him up for a power bomb. Sit out power bomb from Coffey on the apron. Both men roll to the outside. Both men are down. Big holy shit chant from the NXT UK fans. Unbelievable stuff from both men here. A sit-out powerbomb on the apron from Coffey to Pete Dunne. Unbelievable. Ouch. Crazy stuff. Crowd getting back into it here. Both men being counted out as the crowd continues to really root both of these guys on. 9, they're both back up on their feet. And both getting in right before the 10 count. Crowd cheering. They were getting really restless there, worrying that this would have been the end and would have ended a double count out. What a match here. What a display from the NXT UK roster this entire show. But certainly the main event has lived up to it. Coffey now standing up, looking down at Pete Dunne. Dunne from his backside looking up, pretty disgusted at Joe Coffey as Coffey hits him with rights to the face, lefts to the face. Really kind of standing over Pete Dunne now. Another right, another left. Pounding Pete Dunne throughout this. Now Joe Coffey stomping the head of Pete Dunne. Crowd cheering, jeering, booing Coffey here. Now Dunne from his backside with kicks to the face as Joe Coffey tries to pull him up. Continues to stomp him on the face and gets Joe Coffey down. Now he continues to really stomp him as the crowd gets into it as he pulls up Joe Coffey's left arm. Crowd back up into it. Now jumps on top of his hands. Big kick to Coffey as Coffey gets back up. Oh, but Coffey throws Dunne up and catches him with an uppercut on the way back. Coffey off the rope, but a big enziguri from Pete Dunne. Discus punch that's blocked by Dunne. And a big clothesline lariat. Coffey takes him out. 2. Oh! I thought that was it. Dunne kicking out at the last possible second. What a match. Both men laying down. Crowd just on their feet, showing their appreciation. This is good stuff. Crowd chanting hard for Pete Dunne here, trying to will him back into this match. Joe Coffey has had the upper hand here towards the end. Looks like he's getting ready to finish off Dunne, taking his elbow pad off, going off against the ropes, coming around for another discus, but it's caught by Dunne into an armbar, but Coffey's blocking the armbar. Pete Dunne trying to lock in the hold, but he has not been able to do it. Now pulling on the fingers of Coffey, really trying to separate those fingers out. Coffey in trouble, but Coffey pulling, getting on top of Pete Dunne, trying to get Pete Dunne back up. Tries to get him up. Throws Dunne into the corner. But while he's in the top turnbuckle, Dunne is continuing to put the hold on. Coffey's doing whatever he can to try to get him to release the hold. Coffey now up to the top rope. Has Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne still has him in the hold, and Pete Dunne's on the top of the apron. And now, Joe Coffey. Oh, my God. Top rope powerbomb breaks the hold finally. And again, both men are down in the center of the mad as the crowd gives a very much deserved holy shit chant. What a match here. Main event, the first ever NXT UK Takeover Blackpool. Great match back and forth. Both men are completely out of it. Looks like Pete Dunne is trying to pull himself up. Joe Coffey's trying to pull him up. Himself up. They're on opposite sides of the ring right now. Both men are seated in the bottom of each one of the corners, facing each other. Joe Coffey looking like he's wanting to pull himself up, but can't because his left arm is bothering him so much. Both guys get up at the same time, coming over towards each other. Really now, face to face, as the crowd is growing with anticipation, everybody on their feet. And now here they go, they're getting at it. Rights and lefts on each other. Both guys giving everything they have in the center of the ring. Goes for the big right, but Pete Dunne ducks. Dunne with rights and lefts of his own, another right. Now Joe Coffey is spaghetti-legged as he bounces off each one of the ropes there. Pete Dunne with rights and lefts. Now Pete Dunne, in exhaustion, collapses on top of Coffey, who's backed up onto that second rope. Referee asking Pete Dunne if he wants to continue. Coffey back up, grabs Dunne by the top of his head, levels him and knocks Dunne down. Looks like Dunne gets back up. Coffey's stalking him from behind. Now has him up on his shoulders. Drops him down for a German suplex into a pin, but no. Dunne kicks out at the last possible second. Another chant from the UK crowd. Can't really make it out, but they're... What are they chanting?
Are you watching Vince McMahon?
Are you watching Vince McMahon is what they're chanting. Very funny. And now Nigel adds, are you not impressed? As Joe Coffey levels, pounding on a prone Pete Dunne. Really giving him all he has. Still with the upper hand here. Pete Dunne is down. Now he's pulling Pete Dunne up to the top, up to his feet. Pump handle slam coming up, but DDT! Ooh. Pete Dunne reversed it into a DDT. Pete Dunne calling for it. Bitter end from Dunne. Is that going to do it? Can't cover him. There's nothing left. He has nothing left. Hits him with the second bitter end. Goes for a cover, but Joe Coffey rolls out of the way. Coffey to the apron. Crowd chanting for Bruiserweight, but Pete Dunne wasn't able to get the cover. And now Joe Coffey's back on the apron doing all he could to get out of the way.
The NXT UK universe standing on their feet trying to feed as much energy as they can to the Bruiserweight. Words almost cannot do this justice. The amount of energy these two superstars.
Now Pete Dunne doing what he can to get Joe Coffey back onto his feet. Discus clothesline from Coffey while he's on the outside. I know he can't make the cover because how exhausted he is. Crowd chanting, trying to get Dunne back into this, chanting Bruiserweight. Pete Dunne is down. Coffey is down. Joe Coffey from the apron trying to get Pete Dunne back onto his feet. Pulling him by his hair. Getting him back up to his feet. Now running him into the turnbuckle. Pete Dunne looking completely out. It looks like Joe Coffey's climbing to the top rope, pulling Pete Dunne with him to the top rope. Now, Joe Coffey saying, "This is my takeover," as both men are on the apron. Now, Joe Coffey looks like he's getting Pete Dunne up. Oh, and both men tumble. I'm not sure what happened there. I don't know if both guys just fell or if Pete Dunne pushed him to the floor, but that looked rough. That was a rough landing for Coffey. That was a rough landing for Dunne. Both men are down. Pete Dunne now going to the outside to go back and grab Coffey, trying to get him back into the ring. He took quite a fall at the top rope there, all the way to the outside. I'm not sure if they just kind of lost the move or what the deal was, but both men tumble down and fast. Dunne getting up. Joe Coffey. Big right. Discus clothesline turns. Pete Dunne inside out to the outside. Coffey with a huge discus clothesline. Coffey getting Pete Dunne back into the ring. Could we see a new champ? Pump handle slam. No. Oh, and he takes him down with a big slam. Does Coffey. Pete Dunne kicks out at 2. These guys got to be coming up now on, yes, over 30 minutes this match has been going on. What a main event here. They've actually gone over the time, which was going to be, thank you for the like there, whoever just left that. Appreciate it. And now Joe Coffey goes to the top, leveling, seizing the moment, trying to seize the moment on Pete Dunne, who's laid out entirely. Joe Coffey climbing to the top rope ever so slow. Pete Dunne down, center of the ring. Now Pete Dunne gets back up quickly. He goes to that top rope. They're both on the top rope. Oh! Joe Coffey takes down Pete Dunne off the top and hits his neck across the barricade on the outside. Both men are down. And yes, if this was a Raw, I would say, who's going to win? We'll be right back. But we're staying with it because it's TakeOver. I can't help myself. Every time I see it, I have to go there. Coffey and Dunne are both down, and both are slow to get back up here on the outside. Dunne climbing, rolling back into the ring. He's the first one back in. Coffey back to his feet. He's back in the ring. Crowd to their feet. They're into the match. Both men are getting up. Discus clothesline from Coffey. Pete ducks and hits him with a discus lariat of his own. Picks up Joe Coffey. Bitter end number 3 coming up. Got him! That's got to be it. 1, 2. Kicks out! But right into a submission. I thought we were on to day 602. Now Pete Dunne pulling on the fingers, and Joe Coffey taps out. What a match. What a show. As they get the camera on, one gentleman politely applauding with a golf clap. So weird. What a match. What a show. Pete Dunne, still your NXT UK champion. Coming up on 2 years now. Day 602. Wow. 3 bitter ends didn't do it. The final submission did. Joe Coffey tapping out. I'm going to stick it right here. I'm going to keep watching this here after this ends. I will sign off here with you guys here in a bit. Let's see if anything happens here at the close of this show as they show Joe Coffey doing what he can to get. What a showcase for Joe Coffey, though. Dave, what do you think of the show? That was good stuff. The last match. What match do you think was the best?
I have to say I agree with this one now.
Yeah, I think the main event, I mean, don't get me wrong, tag match was fantastic to start the show. Mustache Mountain against Gibson and Drake. But this main event was so great. Great, great match. Pete Dunne standing in the ring, belt down, coming out of his mouth with it. Unbelievable stuff. Let me know what you guys thought in the live chat or in the comment section below. Let me know what match you thought was the best match of the evening. Thank you guys for tuning in with me here, sticking with me throughout the entire show. Can't thank you guys enough for doing that and for participating in the live chat. Really a really good showcase for the NXT UK brand, I thought. Everyone really brought it. It wasn't a bad match on the show. 2 new champions, Gibson and Drake. Grizzled Young Vets win the NXT UK Tag Team Champions. Toni Storm wins the NXT Women's Championship. But Pete Dunne, day 602, will happen. He retains the NXT UK Championship. 3 bitter ends didn't do it. He got him with a submission at the end of the match. But again, a great showcase of both Pete Dunne, Joe Coffey, and what I thought was the entire NXT UK brand. Really, really good stuff. And they're showing Pete Dunne now celebrating with the title. We'll hang here until they officially sign off. Really good stuff. And that's it. So thank you guys again for tuning in right here at Watchalong Wrestling. I am Tommy on the Spot. I'll be back with you guys again real soon. We got a lot of fun stuff coming up, a lot of good Royal Rumble watch-alongs coming up here to get you set for the Rumble in just a couple weeks. I'll be heading down to Phoenix for the Rumble. So make sure, if you do like what you see, you go ahead and subscribe so that you're along for the ride every step of the way. And until next time, everybody, signing off. Wait, hang on.
I know that song. I know that theme.
Hold the phone, everybody. And that is Walter. Wow. That's why you never sign off until they go to black. They even put the little logo up in the corner. Walter has just made his debut for NXT UK. And my God, does he look like a total badass. Not only does he have a really awesome theme song, he's kept the theme song, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is his theme from Progress, from everywhere. Crowd lost their shit the second they cut into it. And here he comes with that long trench coat. We're going to get Pete Dunne and Walter. That's freaking awesome. Hopefully they give us a UK title match at TakeOver New York. That would be fun. Crowd is singing along with Walter's theme as Pete Dunne and Walter now staring each other down. Just about to sign off. I was about to stop broadcast, but we pumped the brakes. And Walter now in the ring as Joe Coffey's still down on the outside getting back up. This is a moment here, guys. And now Coffey getting back up as they're both looking at him. Walter laying Coffey out with a big stiff kick to the head. Coffey takes it to the outside. But Walter has arrived.
I wanted it. I kind of if there's going to be a debut, it has to be him.
Yeah.
But I didn't think that.
I thought he was coming out earlier to face Devlin.
I didn't even see any rumor about it, any speculation.
No.
I just thought, I hope he shows up.
Walter now staring down at Dunne, a big face-to-face. As the Bruiserweight holds the title in his mouth, hits him with the Bruiserweight. Crowd chanting NXT. What a close to the show here. Walter staring down Pete Dunne. Unbelievable. We were real close to signing off here, and then right at that very last second, as NXT often does, they wait till they put up the little graphic on the bottom corner.
Something goes down.
And something goes down.
I can't believe they actually did it.
That was cool. That was really, and you know what? Well done on their part. Dunne retains the title, but now he's got his next challenger. What an exciting show. That was a lot of fun there. Walter debuting here at the end of the show as now Pete Dunne walks around the ring and soaks in the adulation of the sold-out Empress Ballroom in Blackpool. NXT TakeOver UK. In the books. Let me know what you thought about it down in the comment section below. Let me know what you thought about it if you're still there in the live chat. And we'll be back before you know it. Definitely before the end of the weekend. And that is it. NXT TakeOver Blackpool officially is finished.
I was going to think, they need to have a debut of some kind.
Yeah, and you know what? It was really smart on their part to have that debut get people amped and excited for shows in the future from the UK brand. So a good show overall. Lots of surprises. Lots of a couple of title changes. And I thought a really strong, kind of, hey, we've arrived from NXT UK as they're starting the Nigel documentary now. But we will sign off and we will say so long for Watchalong Wrestling and our NXT UK Takeover Blackpool live stream. Until next time, everybody, this has been Tommy on the Spot. You guys have a great weekend.